Now, I think it's safe to say that for most of us, 2020 hasn't gone as probably planned. And that's the same for me as well. But I will say, if I'm trying to think on the bright side of things, I've been able to review a lot of watches that have been on my just bucket list to just review this year. And one here today is another one I'm very excited to be able to feature, the Zenith Defy Classic. One of the best and probably most overlooked sports luxury watches for under $10,000. So guys, before we jump into looking at this Zenith, I wanted to share and feature a watch that I'm really excited about. Just became available on my website, teddybaldassarre.com, with the Junghans Max Bill Automatic Bauhaus. I've been really excited about getting this watch. Just finally came in stock. $1,325. You get a sapphire crystal, which is a nice step up compared to the plexiglass that you usually see on these. Beautiful design as always. Really interesting touch of red as well on the case back. I think is the real treat and star of the show here, with that awesome tribute to the Bauhaus School of Design on the back. If you're liking what you're seeing with this watch, head over to teddybaldassarre.com. I have a full in-depth review and you can go ahead and pick one of these up for yourself before they're sold out. So head over to my website, teddybaldassarre.com, sign up for the exclusive buying guides, browse our collection of over 16 brands, watch our dedicated video reviews available on different watches that we have for sale, and I hope to help you out and earn your business for your next watch purchase. Okay, so now let's get back to the Zenith. Now, when considering brands like Zenith, I think the unfortunate reality for a brand like Zenith is because there's so much success affiliated with one of their models, the El Primero, sometimes you just overlook the other great watches that they have available. And I think that's definitely the case for the Defy Classic. The Defy line from Zenith dates all the way back to 1967, with the framework of that original model being present here within this piece, especially with the case. So back in 1967, the world of watches was still quite a bit away from becoming the sports-oriented landscape that it is today. The Submariner and Seamaster were the beginning rise of their popularity, and in addition, we'd have to wait to the turn of the next decade until we saw the likes of the Royal Oak, the Nautilus, and the 222. With this in mind, the Defy was a suitable name as it did exactly what you would expect, to challenge the status quo of the period. Fast forward to the modern day, we might not be getting the same resistance to the norms as we once did with the delivery of this piece, but I do think that this Defy Classic still manages to deliver something that is different, and I think being one of the more overlooked sports watches on the market. So first, looking at this watch from a high level, we have a case size of 41 millimeters, thickness of 10.9 millimeters, lug to lug of 44.9 millimeters, water resistance of 100 meters, movement is an automatic Elite 670, crystal is sapphire, case material titanium, and the price on this one for the bracelet is $7,200, and then on the rubber, $6,300. So when first strapping on the Zenith Defy Classic on my wrist, my initial thought was just simply, wow, this thing is light. With the help of the grade 5 titanium, this is a daily wearer that is a real treat to have, as at times you even forget that it's there until you're pleasantly surprised once you look down from time to time. This weightless feeling is furthered even more when you have this one on the lightweight rubber strap that tugs to the wrist comfortably when on the wrist. With this in mind, this is going to assist in making this a very easy wear for a variety of wrists out there, from say sub 15 centimeter wrists even to larger wrist folks out there. As on my 6¼ inch wrist, or 15.9 centimeters, the watch does not overhang and looks fantastic in my opinion. And overall, I think this one kind of surprised me with being able to work off. And it's one that also from pictures, you can't really understand how the wear is until you are able to put this one on, just given its lightweight. With its block case style, the watch manages a compact 44.9 millimeters lug to lug that for context is not even a millimeter more than that of the lug to lug of the 36 millimeter Rolex Datejust. So not bad for a 41 millimeter watch. In addition, the watch also has a great thickness of 10.9 millimeters that is certainly achieved by the help of the ultra thin caliber within, but more on the movement in a bit. The case comes in a predominantly brushed finish with polished edges on the case and bezel. In my time reviewing the Defy, I was actually able to test out 2 versions of the watch. So one of them is on the bracelet and one of them is on the rubber. Both of them have their upside and are exceptional in their own ways. Starting with the bracelet, it comes in full titanium and matches the same balance of the brush finish with polished edges on the inner center link. The links are screwed and have an H-link style, and I think it's just a really fantastic choice for this design, meeting at a 2-button release on the underside. It is no question has a sporty exterior, but it doesn't lean so much in that direction that I don't think it would be unable to be dressed up when needed to. However, in my time wearing this watch, I can't lie, I actually wore it predominantly on the rubber strap, which is really saying something for me considering I'm not the biggest rubber strap guy, but the quality is certainly there as it does have a lot of added comfort of the vulcanized rubber underside. Along the outside, it has a nice block texture design, tapering heavily until meeting at a full butterfly clasp, featuring a dual button release while also being made of full titanium. So to put it simply, there were no corners cut here with making this strap. The only problem here with this strap and bracelet system is not the quality in which being delivered, but just the ease of swapping them out with one another. Unfortunately, it's going to require tools to make the change here, and I'm not talking just simple spring bar tool. There's actually screws within the lugs to be able to swap the bracelet for the strap. So for one area of improvement here, this would definitely be it to really be able to take advantage of it. I think of like a Vacheron Overseas, for example, where they have a very, very simple way of swapping straps, going leather, going rubber, going bracelet. If Zenith could improve this, this would make this watch even more compelling in my opinion, but it is worth mentioning here as one little downside of this watch. Transitioning to the dial, we have an incredible blue here that works superbly with the other elements. Now, I know there are many people out there that are fans of the skeletonized version of the Defy, which I am as well, as it's perhaps one of my favorite skeleton watches on the market, especially for the price. However, there is a lot to admire here with this dial as well. First, with the more striking elements of the case and bracelet, the blue dial surface is more, say, contained in terms of catching attention, and features a very limited text minus the brand marking at the 12 beneath the adorned Zenith star. At the center, we have a rhodium-plated handset containing superluminova and matches that of the applied markers. However, one very cool aspect of the markers are that they're essentially floating over the dial, and I don't mean that figuratively, but in actuality, given their cantilever application, casting outward over the dial from the connected minute track. This effect, when factored in with the high polish edges to match the rest of the edges of the case, are striking when paired to the deep blue of the dial. At the 3 o'clock, we have a date aperture with a white printed outline and a slanted outer window. However, one of the coolest aspects of this date window is when it's actually engaged, and it also serves as a nice segue into the movement here. But when engaging that non-screw down crown, would love to have seen a screw down crown here, we have the ability to hand wind the movement at the first position, adjust the time at the third and farthest position, and at the second position, the ability to change the date bidirectionally. So you can choose to go forward and back with setting this date. It's a pretty awesome way to adjust the date very quickly. Flipping over the Defy, we have view of the automatic Zenith Elite Caliber 670 SK through the sapphire caseback. Now this movement really assists with the thinness of this case here, with this caliber coming in with an impressive 3.8 millimeters in thickness. However, apart from being thin, the movement is also a treat to look at, with its skeletonized rotor featuring a Zenith star, as well as the skeletonized bridge underneath. The movement packs 27 joules and features a silicone escapement wheel and lever, which you should be able to notice that escapement wheel distributing energy as it rotates, since it appears in a green-like tint, which apart from adding a splash of color, is helping to limit the amount of friction and limit the need for lubricant, which also will aid in prolonging the need for service. And with factoring all these components together with a great look on the caseback, makes this a standout and provides support to why this watch is a great choice in a busy price range of great everyday wearers. This movement operates at 4 Hz, 28,800 vibrations per hour, features hacking and hand winding, has a 50-hour power reserve, and has an accuracy of +2 seconds per day. Now, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, this watch has been on my list to review for quite some time, and that really comes down to the fact that I think it's very underappreciated. You have a grade 5 titanium case with a fantastic bracelet and strap options, a stunning dial, a stellar movement, and all of this I think factors into it being one of the more overlooked gems in the range of luxury watches for everyday wear under $10,000. And if I was Zenith, I'd be putting a little bit more effort into this range. I think there's a lot of upside here with this Zenith Defy. If they could add a better bracelet swapping system, a screw down crown, I think this would be a real winner in this range where a lot of people are automatically going Rolex and Omega as a very good competitor here. But those are probably the only 2 gripes I have with this watch, because otherwise, I think this is a very fantastic piece. So guys, I'd love to hear your comments and what you think of this Zenith Defy Classic. I know a lot of people like the skeleton version. I'm more of a traditionalist in terms of kind of liking some more simple designs, but I do like that skeleton version as well. I'd love to see comments down below. What do you think of this piece? Are there other models that you would like me to cover in the future that maybe are somewhat like this that you think are underappreciated? That's kind of been the theme of the first half of 2020 with reviews. So love to see comments down below of what you'd like to see in the future. In addition, definitely head over to TeddyBaldassarre TeddyBaldassarre.com. If you like that Young Hans Max bill that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that's just one watch of over 400 watches available on the store. We have new watch straps. Sign up for the written content. Head over there because that makes all of this possible as well. And I'd love to earn your business. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.